Welcome back, everybody, for dive number 3 on the day. So this is actually my second time laying down voiceover for this dive. I did it the first time, went back and listened to it, and as you may know, it's no secret that one of my favorite pastimes is cracking a fresh one and doing this commentary. But I deemed it got a little too... I don't know if out of hand is the right words, but the right phrase. But it was no good. I got about halfway through. I was editing it. I was cutting this out. I was cutting this out. I was cutting that out. And I finally just said, you know what? This is too bad. I need to redo it. So here we are. This is actually my favorite dive of the day. It was the coldest, as I recall. You can see that. Nice descent. You'll see more evidence of that in the video, but this particular place that we dropped down on has ladder rungs about every 5 feet, so you can get a really good visual reference on where you're going, how fast you're descending, those types of things. So I credit that to the picturesque descent that you see before you in this dive profile. It got cold. I think the max or the minimum temperature was 49 degrees Fahrenheit. For me, even in a 7mm wetsuit, that's cold. But yeah, we dropped down on the 65-foot platform. Then we went to see the houseboat. Then I think the train car. Then I think the airplane. I know in the last video I did a trace through of the dive, the different, places we went around the wall and back in between the dive platforms, what have you. I don't exactly know where we went this dive, so I'm not going to do that. And that's what I get for putting off this commentary, because this was 2 months ago now, and you kind of forget. If I did these things while they were fresh in my mind, I could, show you the map, show you exactly where we went. Or I could watch the videos ahead of time and figure that out, but I don't really want to do that, so let's just get into it. See you in the water. Normally I don't talk on the surface, but not much was said here, so let's go ahead and knock this sponsorship out. This dive brought to you by MA Pallets. Do you have a forklift, a warehouse, and 3 tons of cow manure that you just can't figure out how to vertically lift? Think no further than a V22 MA Pallets, here to satisfy all your palleting needs. Don't let the cheap cast-off lumber fool you. These pallets punch disorganization square in the earballs. Your inventory will be stowed away faster than a tumble from the top shelf. But if that does happen, no worries, we'll get someone to clean that up. MA Pallets, not just available in Massachusetts. Okay. Thank you, MA Pallets. Here we are. This was an extended surface interval, apparently. I started my camera way too early. I thought I was waiting on my buddy, and I think he was waiting on me, and I think we were both ready, and we were just kind of sitting here. Waiting to descend into the cold abyss. But it does give you a chance to check out the cool Mermet Springs from the water. There's some docks on that side.
Alright, ready to get cold?
I'm ready to get cold.
My buddy is ready to get cold. Here is the buoy marking the 65-foot platform. Pop that computer in dive mode real quick. Although it does that automatically. As soon as you get down to 4 feet deep, it switches to dive mode. So in case you forget, like I do many times, no real worries. Down we go. So here are the ladder rungs I was talking about in the intro on the dive profile. I said 5 feet. It looks like actually maybe 10 feet apart. I don't know. They're at intervals. The interval doesn't really matter. What matters is you can gauge your speed, your descent speed, based on, you know, how fast they're flying above you. And because of that, you can have a nice, even-keeled descent. And down I go. Hopefully you're kind of starting to see that here. Not very fast, but you can actually drop as fast as you want. Coming up is the problematic part, because that's when the nitrogen in your bloodstream and tissues expands, comes out of solution. And that can cause decompression sickness, DCS. But going down, there's no worries there. You can drop as fast as you want, as fast as your ear equalization will allow. I got some air trapped in my flashlight there. Okay, so I'm not sure how deep we are now, but I imagine I'm hitting the cold stuff, because I think... Well, didn't quite catch it there. I think I remember turning my light on when we hit the cold stuff, so... Down we go. Plus it looks like the frame rate on my camera just dropped. Oh yeah, here's the platform. So that platform's 65 feet. We are in every bit of 49-degree water right now, if not colder. 60 feet, there it is. You can see it, that top number on my computer. This was by far the best visibility of the day. One of the reasons why I consider this the best dive of the day. You can see it really opened up down here. Lots of muck on the platform, so that means there's nobody down here stirring it up. And look at me, I found a 7-iron. I think. Yes, 7-iron. If you caught that before I shone my light on it and washed it out. I do believe I take a swing here. Oh yeah. 4. Oh. Too bad I wasn't actually hitting anything. Next time I'm gonna pick up a rock. And there's my feeble attempt at holding my computer up to the camera, which I still haven't figured out how to really do. On to the houseboat. It's right there. You know, it's almost kind of funny in these viz conditions. They've got ropes attached to the houseboat, to the platform, to the train car, and they're all like right there. Like within 10 feet probably, but it can get so bad that you might need those ropes someday. Today was not that day, though. And this is probably my 3rd or 4th time at least swimming around this houseboat. I should probably take a marker next time. And a lot of free space. It's like a blank canvas. I'm sure I've mentioned this in the past, but this is Mermet's newest attraction. Donated by somebody with a lot of money, I guess. If they've got, you know, a houseboat just laying around that, hey, you can go ahead and sink this. We don't care. You won't catch me donating houseboats, any houseboats to Mermet anytime soon. Sorry, Mermet. Coming around the back. Nothing. Nothing quite there. So my light, my torch, the one Terry's got, is very similar. And again, I probably mentioned this before, but hold on. Nothing's more important than this fax I'm about to get. I'm waiting on a very important fax at the bottom of Mermet. Is it here? No. Unless the fax is sludge. I already sent my twit out. Alright, I don't need to twit anymore. Hold on. Very important phone call. There it is. Bass Pro. 1-800 Bass Pro. Beer emergency. Nope. Okay. Must have been a wrong number. Onward. So actually, one thing I did mention in my last commentary, you know, the one that I deleted, I got Stranger Things 4 on the brain, and I was going to talk about that. Although this dive's a little more interesting. If you've watched my videos, you've seen all this stuff. So I'm kind of on the fence of whether I want to turn this into a Stranger Things 4 review while I'm diving. I mean, that would be unique. There's just can't be many people who have done that. Here we are back at the 65-foot platform. Sorry if there's a weird cut, especially in like the audio volume maybe. I'm actually recording this a day later than the last bit of commentary. Yeah, I had to take a break. It was getting a little too late. So I'll push it off to tonight. What have I got here? A plastic stingray with wheels and a missing top, I think. Must be some kind of underwater toy that used to be in far better shape. I don't think you'll find any stingrays living in this temperature of water. Where to next? To the truck? Is that what that says? To the truck! Off we go like a herd of turtles to the truck. There's the truck. These ropes are short. Man, it's the mail truck, in fact. You know, every mail truck has a mailbox just sitting in a flatbed like that, along with a weed whacker. Any letter deliveries? I don't have anything. I did not bring anything to mail. I wonder what the pickup times on this mailbox are. Every day at 3 p.m., you think? Post office worker shows up at Mermet, dons all the dive gear, heads down there, pick up the letters. You never know. You never know. But I think in the last video I was toying with the idea of doing a Stranger Things 3 review, or a Stranger Things 4 review. I don't know if I really want to do that. It's just... I haven't really planned it out yet, so I'll probably just start rambling. And, you know, with some dive stuff interspersed in between. Wash me. Yeah, I'd say everything's okay here, Terry. Not sure what he was saying there. On to the next thing, I suppose. Yeah, you get down to that 65-foot platform, and man, those ropes are very short. I guess there's some pretty bad visibility there sometimes, but as you can tell, this was by far the best of the day. The students don't normally come to this deep. Not the young pups, not the rooks. Certainly not, you know, degrading them, talking derogatorily, is that a word? Of them. That was me not that long ago. I remember it vividly. I had real problems controlling my buoyancy going from deep to high. I always forgot to vent air out of the BCD. And I'd hit a certain point where I would hit a runaway ascent, where you just start shooting at the surface because you become positively buoyant. And yeah, I think I did that at least 3 times on my first 10 dives. I did it during my checkout dive for my certification. Yeah, I popped to the surface. I don't remember exactly where we were. This was long before the GoPro days. And I didn't know what to do, so I just kind of hung out. The rule of thumb is, if you lose somebody down there, you search for a minute and then you come up. And it was murky, of course. It was at Mermet here, and I'm like, well, if I drop down again, there's no way I'm going to find them. So I'm just going to stay right here. And 51 feet deep. There you go. We're getting after it. 31 minutes till no deco stop. 36 minutes of airtime. That's pretty deep. I wonder where we were here. We just hit that little airplane. I'm not sure what exactly that is. I'd have to check the map. It's got to be near the mail truck. But yeah, I popped to the surface, and shortly thereafter, my instructor did. And so he popped up. I was just out of his field of view, you know, like, I don't know, he was looking one way. I was probably 90 degrees to his right, I think, or left, whichever. Just out of his peripheral. And he started turning the other way. And, you know, looking for me. And if he had just turned, you know, if he turned towards me, he would have seen me immediately. But he started turning the other way, so he had to do about a full 270 degrees before he saw me. And there was a look of terror on his face by the time it got around to me. Yeah, which I can imagine. I love diving, but I never want to be an instructor. That's just too much responsibility. To Cessna? Okay, I guess we're at the Cessna. Platform 2. Platform 2. Platform 2 is like 15 feet up. This train car. This is the train car. So that rope must go straight up almost. I didn't even know there was a rope connecting platform 2 to the train car. That's interesting how to do that dive once, just to go a different direction. But I saw the look of terror. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I told him, "Well, you know, I just wanted to get some bird watching in on my, you know, during my checkout dive." I don't think he was very amused. But he said next time, he said look for the bubbles and drop down in the bubbles. That's good advice. I did not think of that at the time. So yeah, if you ever dive and you get separated from your group, you can try to find their bubbles and drop down in the bubbles. Of course, those bubbles are probably going to be moving, so keep them in view as you descend. I don't know. I do kind of want to talk about Stranger Things. What video am I at? I need to figure out if I actually have time. Next video is 3 seconds long. Oops, I should have deleted it. Sorry, folks. Is that Terry? Yeah, it's Terry. I think we did run into another group. I think that was Terry. I'm in the train car. And this is going to be like a 3-second video, which I probably... Yeah. So that happens. Sometimes I get confused of whether I'm recording or not, particularly when, you know, the camera's been running for a while. I'm thinking, did I turn it on, turn it off? Yeah, so I think that time I thought that I had it on. In fact, it was off. Look at this chainsaw. This was... Unfortunately, I think the chain had been removed. I tried giving that pull cord a yank, and it did not budge. So, yeah, I was gonna regular saw this CB antenna off the fire truck. Is this the fire truck? Looks like a siren on the top there. I think this might be the fire truck. I'm not sure. Is that a siren? Maybe it's a light? Oh, definitely the fire truck. There's the fire extinguisher. Alright. So, Hague Quarry, which went diving there about a month after this dive. Putting out that fire. I didn't pull the pin first. It's not going to work. Hague Quarry's got a fire truck too. That's a flooded quarry in northern Illinois. Probably about, I don't know, 3.5, 4 hours north of this one. Yeah, their fire truck looks a little different, but stay tuned for the Hague Quarry dive. That'll be 2 sets of videos after this. If you want to see the fire truck. Northern Illinois version. You can tell the water's getting a little murkier now. I don't know how deep we were. We could check the Mermet map and probably figure out how deep this fire truck is. And they put those depths at the bottom too, so like the bottom of the wheels are whatever the depth is. So I'm flying around the a few feet above the top of the cabin there, so it's going to be not as deep as the reading. Okay, this is the Boeing 727, I think. Yes, okay. So this is about 45 feet down. This is a temperature. Can we read that? No, because I still don't know where my camera's pointing. I'd have to pause it. I couldn't catch that in real time. I've looked at that before. It's pretty close to my watch. Maybe a couple degrees difference. But you know, I've said before that the watch needs time to let's take a look in that cabin. Obligatory cabin search. The thermometer on the watch takes time to adjust to the temperature. You know, it's not an instantaneous reading. It looks just like that thermometer does, where, you know, if you were to pull that directly to the surface, it wouldn't automatically read 80 degrees or whatever it was that day. It would, you know, take time to level out. Yep, this is Skip. Skip was here. Alright. If you guys watch my videos, you've seen this plane many times. If this is your first time, then I have to do the obligatory. If you've seen the movie U.S. Marshals, this is the plane. This is the prop plane from that scene from the plane crash scene where Wesley Snipes is running through the flooded fuselage. This is it. I mean, it's the one from the movie. You can go on Mermet's website. They got a whole kind of history documentation on how it got here. Or maybe they just have pictures of them putting it in the water. I'm not sure exactly where how they obtained it, but they did. And hold on, let me rub this jet ski real quick. So let me put a lot of rocks in there. And look at me! My first treasure I found in Mermet in a while. Found a weight. Terry, trying to get your attention. Look what I found. He found weights on the last dive. We were, yeah, kind of ironic maybe. The very first dive of the day, we were looking for weights he lost, and we couldn't find those, but we found tons of other weights. I still have that weight. I kept it. I think Terry left the weight pouch he found somewhere. Did he leave that on the bench, or did he take it up to the surface? Did he? I can't remember, but yeah, I took it, I put it down, and I thought, you know what? I found me some Mermet treasure, so I'm gonna keep this. Even though it kills your buoyancy, or not buoyancy, but disrupts your buoyancy, disrupts your balance. And yeah, so I have that extra 3 pounds, I think it was, laying around here somewhere. As you can see, this plane is not in the best of shape. Holes, I don't know, like, what would cause these holes? I don't know if it's just people being people, or like being intentionally destructive, or if this is just the rigors of being underwater for years on end. But, you know, why are the holes here and not somewhere else? I don't know. Maybe they punch those holes as part of an effort to drain it into the water. I'm not sure. Maybe they drilled them on purpose, busted it out on purpose, so air bubbles don't collect inside. That actually That makes the most sense. Just let it vent, because as you can imagine, plenty of people swim through this thing, myself included. Yeah, they probably don't want all that air to collect inside. I don't know. Just a theory. They don't look very uniform if they are intentionally done. And what is this? This is the helicopter fuselage, I think, on top of the plane. Again, not the greatest camera angle. Yes. So you get all excited. You look on the map and they say, "Yeah, we got a helicopter here." You're like, "Oh yeah, cool. Let's go look at the helicopter." And you get there and this is it. I mean, come on, calling this a helicopter is a bit of a stretch, I think. This is a hollowed out, barely cockpit part of a helicopter. No rotors, no skis even. It is just bare bones helicopter cockpit. Is that Terry? Yeah, that's Terry. Never mind. I thought we ran into another group around the plane, but maybe I am. Uh-oh. Did y'all see that? Look up in the video. Oh boy. Is my GoPro failing? Like I said, I haven't really watched these videos. Maybe it's my computer being slow, or maybe it's the actual problem with the video. My computer really struggles to push playing these videos. Especially on the Linux side. So these should only be in HD, which normally even Linux can push those. But if I got a 4K video, like my Linux Fedora VLC can't even play it. I've wondered and scratched my head and done some minimal Googling, and I can't figure it out. It just ramps up the CPU usage. I use VLC in Windows and VLC in Linux, and there's just something with the Linux version that I don't know if I'm missing some kind of graphical driver support that I need that might help with 4K playback. I really scratch my head. I don't know. So I actually do this commentary in Windows. I play the video in VLC, I record in Audacity, and I do that at the same time, which is kind of taxing for my poor little happy here. Yeah, Linux side certainly couldn't handle it. Video's looking pretty good now, so that might be GoPro hiccups. I'm convinced I need some new GoPro batteries. I've had these for, I don't know, about as long as I've owned the camera, and they're third-party knockoffs, so they're not even GoPro brand. Yeah, I first started having problems with that. If you guys, again, watch any of my videos during my snow romps this year. I think that was the first time I took my GoPro with me snow romping. That's where I go walk in the snow around the lake by my condo. Anytime we get some snow and work's canceled. I did it 2 days in a row, and that was kind of a mistake. I was struggling by the second day. I'd love to know how far I go. It's probably, I've guessed about 7 miles round trip. Even further if I take the long loop around the lake. But it's kind of up and down some hills getting there, and walking through snow itself is not that easy. I do not have snowshoes. So, I don't know. Anyway, those videos came back. I could only take a video for about 15 seconds before it started turning purple and glitching, and I blamed it on cold batteries. And GoPro works. I mean, so you can see here it's still working. So I definitely think it's the batteries. And that cold weather anyway is struggling to provide the amperage GoPro needs. But yeah, I mean, this water's kind of cold, but it's nowhere near like, 26 feet. Alright, yeah, we're definitely going up. You can tell the water's getting cloudy. But I mean, there's no way these batteries and things are getting as cold as they were on that day. So, I don't know. I saw a few glitches a few videos back. I have not seen any since. We also are in warmer water here now. Maybe the camera's just getting too cold. It's pretty chilly down by the nose of the plane there. I don't know. If you guys saw that, I apologize. Blame GoPro. Blame, maybe it's localized to me, maybe only I saw it. In this case, I can blame Bill Gates. About the bench, we're probably about 20 feet down, 15 feet down now. Okay, we hear some muppy sounds maybe while we this pass. Just checking how many videos I got left. Terry's all tuckered out, taking a break on the bench. I actually flipped and took some pictures of them there. They turned out poorly. I will say this. Yeah, you do. So I finally kind of figured out playlists in VLC. But the kicker is one of the things I still hate, and maybe there's a setting here for this. I found out that most of the things that I complain about VLC, there's settings to fix or alter. So if I start a video in the playlist and it plays for, I don't know, some amount of time, and then I stop it, I hit the stop button, and then if I kind of hit play again, it picks up where it lets off. And that makes sense, you know, you kind of expect that out of like a, VHS tape, certainly. But the problem is, if I kind of have a video in the middle of the playlist that I've already looked at and done that with, it picks up where it left off while I'm watching it, in the playlist. So I'll be watching these and I'll get a surprise sometimes where the video ends, it goes to the next one, and it starts like, not at the beginning of the next one. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta rewind it, to get back to the beginning, because I totally forgot that, yesterday or a week ago that I started watching this video and stopped it and didn't ever, rewind it, so to speak. So I don't know, that just happened. I'll try to edit that so you don't really see it, but that's probably going to put my audio and video out of sync. I'll have to figure that out. Alright. Hopefully it won't be too far off anyway. This is the bathtub full of bowling balls. These are some new balls, too. I suspect that, there's kind of a ledge in front of me, not that far away from the bathtub here, and I suspect that over time, these bowling balls kind of find their way down the bottom of that ledge. Although no reason somebody couldn't dive down there and pick them up. As you can see how light they are from the water. I'm volleyballing it. I don't remember doing that. Uh-oh, lost it. Uh-oh. Yep. Just save it. It was about to go down the ledge. Barely saved up. Whew. Yeah, that was a woof. I forgot about that. That was entertaining for me, at least. I think I just told Terry I have 800 pounds of arrow left. So that's getting towards the end. Normally you don't start freaking out until about 600. But even that's fine. I mean, at this point we're maybe 15 feet down. If there's any actual trouble in terms of running out of air, we get to the surface pretty quick. But this is shallow enough. Terry's going to do some two-ball juggling. Oh, now he's going to toss me a ball. Boy, we were fascinated with these bowling balls. Oh, yeah. There you go. Oh, of course it's on camera. Gosh, stupid GoPros pointed too far down. But I can honestly say that's the first time in my entire life I've spun a bowling ball on my finger. Look at that. Kind of. You can almost see it. See it in the beginning. I really gotta come up with a better system for the GoPro. In terms of the angle on my head. This is pointed too far down. Although, you know, I'm kind of holding that above my head, but it's still a little too far down. Alright, bowling ball. Back to your home. What do we got left? Only about 3, 4, 5 minutes of footage left. Oh, yeah. Anglers. Not sure what we were talking about here. Yeah, I mean, when you're this shallow, your air barely bleeds out at all. So 800 may sound like not a lot, but it's a lot at this depth. If we were down by the 65-foot platform, I'd be a little worried with 800 air. That's especially when you're that deep, and you might need to do a decompression stop on the way up or a short one. You better start thinking about heading to the surface. But we're so close to the surface here that it's really not a concern. You certainly don't want to run out. But I've never run out of air before. You know, thank goodness. I'm trying to remember. I think the closest I ever pushed it was like 200, maybe 200 psi. Oh, so you can see it. It said my watch said 9 minutes of air time there. If you caught that number on the left. I'm surprised it was that low, actually. But yeah, this is the top of the school bus. Again, yeah, I don't know how much air I have here, but even 5 or 400, that's fine at this depth. You know, keep an eye on it. I'd be a little worried about the accuracy of the sensors closer it gets to empty. But I think they do a pretty good job. Oh, there's some little fishies enjoying their school bus. Big fishy. Oh, there's a ton of them. Jeez, look at them now. That's why I turned my light on. I got a email from Mermet this week saying that visibility is great. Jellyfish are out again. They seem a little early. It is August, but the only time I've seen the jellyfish are in October, and I saw a ton of them. I think that was during my search and rescue recovery class. So if you go back and watch those videos, I think you'll see some jellyfish. It's the strangest thing. It's these tiny little freshwater jellyfish. They're probably about the size of a nickel. And there's some other mermet goers. 3 of them. Maybe a quarter. You know, the water amplifies size a little bit. But they're the tiniest little things, and they just, you know, living their best jellyfish life, floating around the quarry, doing whatever it is they do. I didn't even know freshwater jellyfish existed until I heard about them in this quarry. And I thought somebody was just pulling my chain 13 feet deep. Now it's saying 12 minutes of air left. It's always nice when your tank magically gains air. But now that number going up, the amount of air left, actually, it's possible. If I slowed my consumption of air or something, then, you know, that number might go up. Sometimes I'll be looking at the graph, you know, on the profile, and look at the tank pressure, and there's times where the dip and then kind of come up a little bit before it starts going down, and I'm like, how did that happen, you know? Maybe temperature changes in the water change the pressure. I don't know. But here we are at the petting zoo. Man, we really pushed this last dive out. I always like the petting zoo. One day they're going to turn this into a two-way petting zoo. I have faith. Well, we're getting close to the end, and what do you know? I just talked about diving all the time. See, there's no time for Stranger Things 4. Maybe in the next one, but that concludes the Mermet dives for this trip. I was actually back here the next dive. We went to Kentucky Penny Royale on Saturday and came here on Sunday, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys at that one, along with the frog.